Yo, what's the deal? This is asharenu. We back in here once again to discuss the upcoming lunar eclipse. All right. So we're gonna let everybody come in. But of course, before we get into any of this, we're gonna build on the mathematics and the alphabet, of course. Let me see here. Got me a couple notes. What's up, Candace? What's up, Mr. F? What's going on, everybody? Hopefully everybody is good. Okay, so first and foremost, today is July 25th. We know that we have a 2 and we have a 5. 2 in supreme mathematics breaks down to wisdom. Number 5 represents power. When we add the 2 and the 5 together, we get the 7, which is the number of God. Now let's piece it all together. So we have wisdom, power. Wisdom is the ability to discern the real from the fake. If we want a basic definition of what wisdom is, it's the ability to discern the real from the fake, whether it's people, places, events, or manipulations. What do I mean by that? Meaning, are you manifesting your creation or are you manifesting somebody else's creation? In other words, are you allowing your mind to be manipulated by a power that you perceive to be higher than yours? Therefore, you limit your abilities to match the frequency and the rules and regulations of a created matrix, versus you are living out the path of your destiny and the path of your fate. Let me put it in different terms. We all come here with a soul contract. We all come here with a particular destiny or a particular purpose. We all have a particular fate. However, there are many different paths that we can walk down to arrive at this destiny and or this fate. We also have influence over our destiny and or fate, depending on how we choose to navigate this physical and the mental and the spiritual planes. See, we are wandering around physically, mentally, and spiritually. This is what makes us multidimensional. You got the physical realm, you doing what you do in the physical. You have your thoughts, you think about whatever it is that you think about. Then you have your spiritual life or your alter ego that you see more so in your dreams. Your dreams reveal more of your shadow side of your alter ego. You have that aspect of you. So we have 3 dimensions just right there, and we don't, obviously there's higher things and there's lower things, but we can just keep it at this basic 3D description, just to let it be known that we are multidimensionals. Therefore, to be wise, this is what it means when you fuse the mind and the body through the use of a martial art or through the use of exercise or some type of workout regimen, so that when you think certain thoughts, they are in alignment with you giving energy to these thoughts. Because while you're thinking, while you're concentrating on a certain goal, let's just say, for example, let's just say you're doing a 30-minute workout, focusing on your goal, all of that energy that's being generated from the workout is now helping you to concentrate and helping you to have a clear vision of exactly what you're trying to bring into existence. Again, you have to have a crystallized version of whatever it is that we're trying to manifest physically, and we want to see it animated. We have to have a crystallized vision already in our mental plane, meaning we have to piece the puzzle together already mentally, and we use our spiritual tools or our psychic abilities to help create this crystallized vision of whatever it is that we're trying to descend upon into the 3D reality, as we call matter. Sound being descended into matter, different forms of the same frequency, or everything is everything, right? Energy is everything. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, just changes form. Now let's move on to the power, and this is what I'm talking about right here. Power, mental or physical force. As we know, there are the forces of nature. So we have the intelligence of nature, but then we have the forces of nature. You can say they are intertwined. You can say that as well. So we know that there are forces or unseen forces, forces that we don't see that control nature. Some people call this God. Some people call it the supreme architect. Some people call it a law, so on and so forth. The force behind the winds, and the rain and all the things that we see manifest. We see the manifestations of them, but we don't necessarily see the cause. The cause is unseen, although we experience the effect. We don't necessarily see the whole journey light takes to arrive at the earth. The sun, you can say, is 93 million miles from the earth. If you view it from a flat earth perspective, then of course the sun is a lot closer, but we don't see the full process. We only see the effect of things being given life, and we grow, right? So power is mental and physical force. Now, mental and physical force, you can say, is another way of saying meditation and concentration. In other words, as an example I just gave, you have to empower your thoughts with energy. Or some people say passion, right? You have to be passionate about whatever it is that you desire. There has to be a certain type of fire or passion behind your desires in order for anything to happen, because it's the fire element that sets things into motion. It's that spark of life. So you need to be passionate about whatever it is that you're trying to do. It shouldn't be something haphazard. Like we just want it because we seen somebody else with it, or we seen it, we think about it. Like we have to be passionate about. That's another reason why we have to think bigger. We shouldn't be thinking about, I want this or I want that. We shouldn't be thinking one-dimensionally, like us and a particular goal. We should be thinking about a lifestyle. This is how I want my lifestyle to be. Not this is what type of car I want. This is what the type of clothes I wear, or this is type of boyfriend or girlfriend. We should be thinking about the entire lifestyle and the many different elements and aspects of the entire lifestyle. We have to have this crystallized in our minds entirely. Not just, okay, we got to get one thing at a time. And again, this is the linear thinking that we're still under, the programming that it has to, one thing at a time, one goal at a time. Well, no, when you think about the entire lifestyle, you tap into the frequency of that lifestyle and you draw everything that is in accordance with that frequency simultaneously. So you can be receiving things that you may not even be thinking about, but that are in alignment with that frequency that you're channeling through meditation and concentration. So you have the meditation and the concentration where, you sit down in your own space at your own time and you think about your own thing. But you also have meditation and concentration, actively, when you're out in the world, to be into a meditative state, to be in a meditative state, although you are active and you are engaging with the natural elements of the earth. Don't break your meditative state. Why? Because when you are in your meditative state, you can correspond this to the alpha brainwave state. This is when you are in your creative state, where your mind is relaxed enough to be creative and you can creatively visualize while still being active. So while taking a walk in the park, while doing dishes, while doing chores at the job, while you're actively doing things, you can still remain in your meditation and concentration simultaneously and be building up your crystallized vision of whatever it is that you're trying to descend upon you in matter form, to focus on the frequency or the sound. So much so, remember, if we're talking about music, you can say sound produces melodies in music. So we're not just thinking about one tone, we're thinking about melodies. We're thinking about the entire composites of music. So when we focus on the entire song instead of just one verse or another verse, we focus on the entirety of the music. We can see the vastness and we can feel more of the energy as opposed to one thing at a time, right? That's the power. So you got the 2 and you got the 5. So wisdom power borns God. 2 + 5 = 7. So when we piece all these together, wisdom, the ability to discern the real from the fake. Are you manifesting or materializing your vision or someone else's vision that has put these things into your mind? You know, just us not knowing any better, us not being aware of our actual abilities, that we can do this ourselves. We don't have to be given instruction. We can give out instruction, and we can create from within power, mental or physical force. So the wisdom, the ability to discern the real from the fake. How do you discern the real from the fake? Mental and physical force. Being able to mentally organize your thoughts, stay in a meditative and concentrative state of mind although you're active, as well as physically by being able to observe the subtle reactions of nature, or we can call this body language. Being able to study a person's body language or an animal's body language, a tree, a plant. Being able to study something's nature and to collect information and be able to make a physical move based on the information that you have collected. After you have studied something in depth, now you're able to, okay, how can I physically alter this? Or am I going to go and pick the flower? Am I going to go and extract some of the pollen from the flower? Whatever it is that your attention is, after you make the proper observations, you can go about figuring out ways to get what it is that you desire from this resource of the earth. Now, we're talking about God consciousness. Put it together: wisdom, the ability to discern the real from the fake, power, mental or physical force. When you put this together, these become acts of God, because now you have an influence over the natural elements of the earth, and you are fully aware that you have influence over the natural elements of the earth. So it's not something you speculate. It's not something that you think. It's not something that you feel good about. You actually am or are observing this in actual time, in real time, and you have an influence over it. So you have full awareness of your connection with the nature spirits, your connection with everything around you, so you can influence, push, and pull things around you. These become acts of God. Now, from another perspective, because we have the metaphysical plane, we have the physical plane, then we have the spiritual plane, right? So the numbers 1, 2, and 3 represent the metaphysical plane. 4, 5, and 6 represent the physical plane. 7, 8, and 9 represent the spiritual plane. So metaphysical, physical, spiritual. So the 2 comes from the metaphysical realm, the 5 comes from the physical realm, and the 7 comes from the spiritual realm. So this is why these numbers have their certain attributes. So because the number 2, wisdom, is in the metaphysical realm, the realm that pretty much is pure thought, is the land of, or the realm of formless ether. Again, wisdom represents the ability to discern real from the fake. So you being able to have access to this ether, you being able to create thoughts within the ether. So this is going beyond you having knowledge of the ether itself. You have the knowledge, but now you are implanting your thoughts into the ether, and it starts to influence the ether, and the ether starts to become gas. That gas starts to become a liquid. The liquid then becomes matter. You know, the blood clot becomes the child, right? It's just a natural process of how things work. Then, when you're going through this process, now this body that has been created has a soul within it, which causes it to behave the way it behaves, and to determine its destiny or fate, which is an act of God. So we have this creation that we have created, then it has a soul within it, which has the spirit of God, which makes it a divine being, because it has been given a destiny or a fate or a purpose to be here, right? So there we go. That's today's mathematics, 25th day. You already know. I see everybody in here. So let me see. I see everybody. Let me see. Okay, I see you. What's up, Jay Flower? What's up, Brianna? Yeah, we definitely got the towel. It's super hot. What's up, Marvin the Magi? Do you think a little solitude is necessary for that? It all depends on, meaning you have stillness meditation and you have active meditation. You need solitude for stillness meditation, where you just want to go and be alone, like going into a cave and meditate in a cave. You have that type of meditation and concentration. Then you have the meditation and concentration of you're doing the same thing you will be doing in the cave, but you're outside of the cave, because you have mastered how to, the technique that you learned in the cave in solitude. So you master the technique. Now you take that technique out into the active world and hold your meditation and your concentration. So the same influence of the natural elements you had in the cave, because you discovered in the cave that, like, yo, I actually have power over these elements. You had to go into this cave to see for yourself. But now you say, okay, I have that same influence, but because I have all this static and all this interference now of pretty much other people's minds and all this other stuff, it tends to break our meditative and our concentration state. So we appear to have less influence, even though we have the same type of influence that we have discovered on our own time within our own dreams and all that. In solitude, we discovered the secret solitude, but when we come out into this world, we have to deal with interference. So we have to strengthen our minds to be able to cut through the interference with wisdom. Again, the ability to discern the real from the fake. You got to cut through all of the interference so that you can have, again, either you manifested somebody else's influence or it's your influence. Are you able to cut through all of the external influence or the external chaos to be able to do what it is that you came here to do? All right? It seems like we get eclipses every 3 months. Maybe so. Maybe so. It's all about cycles. It's all about cycles. The more and more you understand the cycles, the more and more you're going to understand self and the various seasons and times, meaning there's a time for everything, right? So it's just time. This is a greater understanding of time. All right? What's up? What's up? I see everybody. What is this? Whoosh? Amantha Woods? However you say that. What's up, bro? Yeah, definitely tune in. I see you, Ashley. Definitely tune in. Do we have the ability to control frequencies, not energy, but frequency? Yes, frequency is basically electricity. We are bioelectric beings. That's why if you touch something that's charged, you're going to get shocked, because we are bioelectric beings. So of course we have influence over frequency, mentally and physically. What's up, Leandro? Peace. What's up? I see you, Joro. What's up? What is it? Lower X. What's up, Lower X? What's up, Kush Goddess? What's up, Coco? What's up, Torrens Garden? What's up? What's up? How can I use the energy of this eclipse to manifest? Well, this eclipse isn't really for manifestation. See, I guess I have to go into what a lunar eclipse actually is. See, if you remember, this is taking place on a full moon. All right, so let's get this straight. This is taking place on the full moon. You don't manifest during the full moon. The full moon is all about cleansing. You manifest during the new moon. So we have to understand these basic concepts, and this is why we study these things, so we can understand cycles, so we can understand there's a time to cleanse, then there's a time to manifest. Doing a full moon isn't the time to manifest. So doing this lunar eclipse is going to happen during a full moon. So this really isn't the time of manifestation, but we're going to get into that briefly. So, but we have to lay the foundation. Like, this isn't. There's cycles, so this isn't necessarily the time. Now, can you still manifest during the full moon? Of course. But this is not necessarily that energy. This is a different type of energy. We're going to get into that in just a second. What's up, Moon Spirit? What's up, Stony? Yeah, exactly. It's all about removing things. He was fascinated by Dr. Strange, how he uses 3 astral planes to catch up on the knowledge. Yeah, this is why I speak about dreams and I speak about the astral plane so much, because this is that is the realm to do all of your spiritual work. Now, you can try to do things here physically, but we are limited to 24 hours. So it's like we only can do so much. But when you astral travel, when you actually explore it and navigate through your dreams consciously, like you are not limited by the dimensions of 3D. You're not limited. But most people just really don't know what to do when the chains come off the brain. See, that's the real secret. So we talk all about revolution. We talk about, we are the creators of our reality. But if you truly took the chains off the brains, that's why the masses will never wake up. just all like collectively. Because if you were to super quickly take the chains off the brain and now everybody is mentally free, people just would not have an idea what to do, because they have not dedicated any time to be able to creatively visualize and do the things you do in order to manifest. They wouldn't know how to do this. So that's the difference. But yeah, the astral plane, this is the place where you really put in that work. But you have to build up enough consciousness to, retain your consciousness. You have to build up enough energy to retain consciousness. So this is why I'm always talking about energy. I'm always talking about prana. I'm always talking about these same concepts, just in different ways. Just to make it be known that this is the full scope of things. We can go beyond the physical and do many things and retain consciousness. All right. What's up, Janet? How do you channel your energy to focus on manifesting a goal when you seem to be scattered in thoughts and ideas? Well, the scatteredness is based on the chemical responses. So if you ever feel scattered with your energy, you need to fast. Stop eating. You know what I mean? And if you really want to go hard, stop drinking water. So reduce your diet to just water. Cleanse your system. Drink some prune juice. Cleanse your system. Go through a full body detox, a full body cleanse. Cleanse yourself out, because all these scattered thoughts are just chemicals going crazy and giving you a bunch of interference and static. So you got to cleanse yourself. So once you cleanse yourself, you're going to be able to organize your thoughts a lot more efficiently. Then you can go from there. So you just gotta get everything organized, but you gotta cleanse. Get all these chemicals out your body first. You know what I mean? And everything will fall into place naturally, because we do all these things naturally. In our natural state, we know and understand everything within ourselves and the universe. That's a natural state of being. The only reason why we pretend like we don't know this truth and that we don't have an influence over it is because of all these chemical reactions, and we want to blame it on something else or somebody else. We want to point the blame. We have to take full responsibility for our condition and our state of mind. But we still trying to point the finger to an external source when the source is always internal. All right? But, everybody don't want to hear that. Yeah, definitely the magnetic powers of the moon draws things up, exactly. The moon has a lot of influence physically and metaphysically that, we probably don't even fully comprehend even to this day. Like, how would I be able to use this lunar eclipse to cleanse that scattered aspect of myself? Well, don't necessarily look at it just as a lunar eclipse. Okay, let me explain what a lunar eclipse is, because I guess people don't understand what for those who don't understand what a lunar eclipse is, a lunar eclipse is basically the moon cannot reflect the light of the sun because it's being blocked by the earth. So that's what a lunar eclipse is. So it's going to be a full moon, but the earth is blocking the light from being reflected by the moon. That's what a lunar eclipse is. So the moon is going to appear to be, a reddish. They call this, I believe, what is the official name? The official name for the lunar eclipse is the red blood moon, because it's also a full moon. So this is the red blood moon. So that's the official title of the full moon. So, we're going into, we're in summertime, going into the fall. So this is the red blood moon. So this is the time to, whenever we think about obviously red blood, we're thinking about the solar plexus. We're thinking about the energy of Mars. We're thinking about the Emperor. We're thinking about Aries. We're thinking about the Scorpio energy. We're thinking about things of this nature, these correspondences, whatever correspondence you understand, the number 9. Excuse me. So the number 9 is going to be significant on this lunar eclipse because we're dealing with the red blood energy. So whatever it is you're trying to do, again, the number 9 is a number of Mars or universal consciousness for those who don't understand. So you may want to change your house vibration to a number 9. You may want to put 999 as a mantra. You just chant 999, 999, 999, throughout your day. When you at work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, however long your concentration can last, and see the influence it has over your reality. This is the whole point. So you want to put something in your mind, because you can say we have For example, we have like 50,000 thoughts a day. We have like 50,000 thoughts a day. The reason why the energy is so scattered is because we're having so many thoughts. Because again, just the chemical reactions, all these chemicals that we put into our body comes out as scattered thoughts and thoughts that may not even be your own. You are pretty much opened up to a lot of interference. So when we're thinking about how to contain these thoughts and how to get our minds cleared, again, this is why it's all about cleansing. So the full moon, this is why I recommend the detox. So it's not just for the person that asks a question, it's for everybody. Cleanse. So if you really want to make the best use of this energy, again, we still got a few days, right? So it ain't even like I'm making this video on the lunar eclipse. So you still got some time to cleanse. Use this 1.5, 2 days before the lunar eclipse to cleanse. You know, you may want to fast. Fast during these 3 days, today, tomorrow, and on the lunar eclipse. Dedicate some type of ritual towards cleansing so that you can, let me get back to the point I was making. When you reduce your thinking to just one thought, because if we all have 50,000 thoughts and you reduce it to one thought, you're going to see that one thought have an influence over your physical reality. But the reason we really don't see this, because when you're having 50,000 thoughts, everything you don't see, like, yo, how can I be the creator of my reality when everything seems chaotic? Because you're having 50,000 thoughts. When you start to reduce your thoughts, you start to clearly see the influence your thoughts have over the external reality. Because now, oh yeah, you start to remember about that. You was thinking about that. You was thinking about that. You start to remember that you were having these thoughts. Then they started to manifest externally because you're having less and less thoughts. So that's like a concentration. Mantras are pretty much just a concentration, a tool for concentration. So if you can keep your mind concentrated for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours on one mantra, these are just helping. These are mental exercises to build up your concentration, to keep you on a meditative keep you a meditative or a meditative state of mind, so that you can be in that alpha brainwave state, right? So there you go. There you go. You should talk about manifesting with dark matter, because there's too many light ways. I mean, dark matter isn't necessarily negative. Dark matter is just, you can say, matter. No, the earth element is a very dark element. You know what I mean? So the element of earth itself is dark magic, because again, the earth is very dark, you can say. But there is no right way, there is no wrong way. It all depends on what energy you want to tap into. Like again, if you want to talk about dark ways, that's just you tapping more into your alter ego. That's just what it means. So if you want to be more on the dark path, you're manifesting more of your alter ego. But if you want, if for those who don't understand their alter ego, you need to observe your dreams and have more astral travel, so that you can observe your true nature, the nature of your shadow, and you can start to implement the natures of your shadow and integrate them into the nature of your awake life. You start to integrate these things into one. To the point where we deserve whatever we feel like we don't have, the shadow has it. The shadow, you can say, is our opposite. We just need to merge our opposite. The shadow, you can say, with the ego. The shadow needs to be merged with the ego. That's why when people talk about killing your ego, that's just merging the ego and the shadow, and they become one thing. So the energy that rises up and the energy that descends comes together and makes one thing, this vaporous reality that we see. To implement those attributes that you observe about yourself when you are in different cycles of darker arts. The darker arts are more in depth. That's what makes them darker, because they're taking place in dark matter. So matter, you can say, is truly taking place within the ether. So the purest state of mind in the ether is the dream state, or when you astral travel, or when you're in a trance state, which you can get into by being in a meditative state and able to concentrate. All right, so there you go. When you're around people, you can't stop being weirded out. It's even happening because I see all of time simultaneously, then being born and shivering away, an infinite loop of spirit. See, we see all these truths. Again, you shouldn't be affected by it though. Like we know that the world has its dark side, but we don't have to be affected by it. This is why I recommend everybody to cleanse. You cleanse so that you stop being pulled by the happenings of the earth, and influences stop. You are detoxing what's causing us to get so absorbed in the chaos around us. Again, is the chemical reactions within the body. Again, just having so many thoughts, so we get sucked into other people's vortexes. But if we want that to stop, we have to generate more energy. When you fast, you are generating more energy so that you become more independent, because you're not relying on food. You're not relying on somebody else's gossip. You're not really thinking about money. You're not really thinking about material things, because you're fasting. Your mind just stops being focused on the physical plane. You start thinking more spiritually, naturally. So when you abstain from the physical world, you start thinking spiritually, naturally. So you just want to during this time, you just want to keep your mind more into the spirituality of things. Do we manifest during the eclipse hour? Again, manifestation can be a full-time thing if you're able to generate enough energy. So all my people, because people ask me about manifestation, if you truly want to manifest, it is a lifestyle of generating more energy than you're currently generating. That's really all it is. It's just that you have a desire to generate more energy, which gives you a stronger influence over your thoughts, because it allows you to concentrate a lot more further and deeper. And in order to be able to do this, you have to cleanse. Get all the things that's holding you back out of your body. You need to cleanse your body. Everything that's holding you back exists. More intelligence, and we will be able to tap more into the intuition and know when to do things, and be able to be tapped into the universal consciousness and the time on a micro and a macro level. So if you wanna manifest, it's just a matter of generating more energy. And the best way to generate more energy without having to, do all these extra physical things is just to fast. Stop eating, and if you want to go crazy, stop drinking water. So either stop eating solid foods and stop drinking, or just stop eating solid foods, and you're going to naturally generate more energy, because this is us going back into our natural state. The body starts to purify itself automatically. Stop eating, the body starts to heal itself. You don't even have to think about it no more. It just does what it does. A lot of people are going to be on shit during that blood moon. I mean, the energy is out here for everybody, so that's what they're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be in tune with the cycles. That's why I'm telling everybody, if you want to be in tune with the energy, stop eating solid foods. And I guarantee on the lunar eclipse, you're going to be way more tuned in to what's really going on a metaphysical level, because all that interference won't be there, because you don't have any chemicals within you that's messing up your bioelectricity, the flow of electricity. You are a blessing. You are a rising, fallen humanity. Oh, you are rising, fallen humanity. Well, I see what you're saying. I appreciate that, Rod. We all have a duty to do. We all gotta, we gotta do it, like whether we like it or not. Like what does it say? Want for your brother like you want for yourself. So it's no point in me knowing all this stuff that nobody else knows it. So we passing along the game. Like each one teach one. We already know how it is. So we just pass it along so everybody can be on a level. All right, I see the 199 donation from Jay Flower. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. What's up, Mark Floyd, however you say that. All you do is channeling. None of the thoughts are ours. You can generate thought. You just want to know that you are the generator of that thought. So we have our own thoughts, but yes, most thoughts that's going in most people's heads are not their thoughts. Obviously, because it's gossip, it's all this stuff that don't have nothing to do with them anyway. So yes, like all this mainstream and all this is not. Most people's conversation has nothing to do with them. is all this stuff. So yes, most stuff that's in the mainstreams are not original thoughts, but we still have the ability to generate original thought once we block off that influence by cleansing our body so that we don't have a magnetic attraction again. So when we put all these chemicals, it gives us a magnetic attraction to the interference. So we become more closer and closer with the interference. So when we cleanse our body of all these unnecessary things that's within the body, it starts to lessen the pull of the magnetism. So we're able to stay more centered and independent and self-aware, more so than just aware of everything around us. How do you think when not talking? You think about one thing, or you can talk and figure things out? I mean, yeah, you know, some people think out loud. You know, some people think within. Some people think with words. Some people think with images. You know what I mean? So everybody doesn't think the same. But you could say, you know, some people just have a whole bunch of inner chatter in their mind, right? These are people who think in words. People who say like, oh, I got all this mental chatter in my mind, mental chatter. Those are just thoughts in the form of words, because you think in words, versus somebody who think in pictures. You know, so they see a lot of images versus a lot, or you know, it may be a little combination of both, but it all depends on how you think. So there's many different ways to think. It all depends on how far you can stretch your imagination. That's why you know, everybody say that imagination is the key. It's not necessarily acquiring a bunch of knowledge. It's all about utilizing the imagination. The imagination is more important than knowledge. You know, all great minds understand that. So we're doing what we're doing to stretch our imagination and to go beyond humanity. We're going beyond humanity to realize our divinity. That's the whole point. So we are stretching our imagination beyond humanity to realize our divinity. You know, so there it is. What are dark shadows I see throughout the day? Is there for a second, then disappear. It's like you pretty much have, it's like you're seeing into higher dimensions. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's like you can say you have some sense of your astral sight, so you're able to see into multiple dimensions at once, because we are multi-dimensional beings. Right, so you can say there's 5 different dimensions. Like just because we may physically see 3D, you may be able to peek into 4D and 5D. So you're having little glimpses of 4D and 5D activity, you know, because your astral sight is developed to the point where you can see it. So no need to give it no extra emphasis. You just want to continue to develop the sight so that you can see more and you can interact with it, and you can develop the relationship between what you see if you want to, or be able to better understand what you're seeing. All right. For some people, when they fast, they think about food. Of course, you're gonna be thinking about food, because it's like if you're a person that's used to eating 3 times a day and you stop eating 3 times a day, of course you're gonna be thinking about food. But that's why again, fasting is not the easiest thing to do. It's it takes discipline. Meaning it's gonna take something more than your hunger to keep you from eating, because you're going to be experiencing hunger. So you're going to need something that's stronger than hunger, which is discipline. You develop discipline and principles. So like, yo, it don't matter how much hunger pains I feel, I'm not going to eat. So your discipline is going to have to control those hunger pains, and you know, those scattered thoughts, you're going to have to use mental force to keep your energy contained, because your energy is going to be scattered and your body is going to, you know, over time, it's going to slow down. It's going to begin to heal itself. And you be able to release your energy and be a little bit more relaxed, you know, over time. So it starts off really chaotic when you fast, but it gets better, you know, as your body starts to get all that stuff out of your system. As all that stuff gets out of your system, then things start to slow down and you start to level out a lot more. Watch your video about doing things that's more natural, so abundance, opportunities, and much more other things can just be attracted to you. Yeah, that's the whole science. You want to charge your frequency up, you know, with negative ions. Again, like when we're inside the places, when we're inside too much, it's more so positive ions. Why is it positive ions? Because we're using, You know, things like, what do they call it? You know, whatever you use to heat your home, you got the heat and you got the cool. These produce chemicals. So we got chemicals all in our home because of just air, using the air conditioner creates chemicals. Using the heater creates chemicals. So it's like we live in artificial environments. We work in artificial environments. So a lot of positive ions are produced in these artificial environments. So whenever you stay outside a lot more, you start to attract more negative ions because you are cleansing your body. Of course, you know, then when you're subjected to sunlight, you walking around in the sun, you outside being charged up with the negative ions. You got photosynthesis going on. You know, all of the sunlight is being produced. All of the sunlight is being absorbed into the body, and you know, it's doing what it's due to keep your body looking, just skin looking shiny. You know what I mean? So all these processes are going through just by being outside. But again, it's just a lot of people that just don't enjoy being outside. So that's why I say that you're just charging yourself up with negative ions. You're dry fasting right now. Salute to you, Fuma. Salute to you, because I know it's not easy. I know, you know, it's going to take discipline, it's going to take courage, but salute to you. You did a 24-hour water fast, and near the end of it, you started to notice my body pulling in energies from around me. Exactly. We do these things naturally. We're just blocked. Our meridians are blocked by all this stagnated energy due to all these chemicals in our body. So once we cleanse out all these things, all our meridians become unblocked, and we're able to absorb energy. We have like 17 million meridians throughout the body. We got like 17 million. So the first things that are blocked are the psychic centers. The psychic meridians are the first things that are blocked. So that your psychic centers shut down before your physical centers. And then when the physical centers shut down, that manifested sickness. So before you start getting sick and everything, your psychic centers become shut down. So when you cleanse and when you fast, you start to activate. Of course, you clean, all the physical stuff get cleansed out, then your psychic centers become activated again, and you start to be able to pull in all types of energy that you were not aware of just prior. All right, what color should we wear during the lunar eclipse? I mean, any color that resonates with the moon. It could be white, blue, silver, you know, any of those type of colors. You know, white and blue. You know, any colors that resonate with the moon. Maybe like little bitty hints of yellow. But the moon it's a red blood moon at the same time though. So red should work as well because it's a red blood moon. So why not wear red? You know, you're only limited to your imagination. Utilize your imagination, and you can create your own way of doing it. Is it better to say mantras quiet? It's easier to get distracted when you say it mentally. So yes, you can say it mentally, but it's easier to get distracted. So you can, if you have to say it mentally, then say it mentally. But if you have an opportunity to say it out loud, then you say it out loud. But, you know, and the more and more you say it out loud, the easier it is to retain your concentration when saying it mentally. So you say it outwardly, master it, then you can say it inwardly, then you can say it inwardly without breaking your concentration as quick as you would if you were saying it eternally and never really master saying it externally. You're producing the sound, right? So you are producing the sound externally when you speak, and you're producing the sound internally when you think it. So you're either speaking it or thinking it, the internal sound versus the external sound. And you explore the difference, and you see the different manifestations that take place, you know, when you explore that. All right? Yeah, definitely listen to the body. So cleansing our bodies is the only way. Well, the body is the vessel. The body is the vessels we have to channel spirit. If we have, you know, this is the vessel we have. So we have to keep our spaceships cleansed. The cleaner the spaceship, the more active your psychic abilities, so the more realities you're able to perceive. As they say, cleanliness is next to godliness, right? That's why that exists. So you must be clean internally and externally so that you can have your godly senses, right? There you go. Shouldn't there be 9 dimensions? Yeah, it is 9 dimensions. But I don't speak about 6, 7, 8, and 9 because it gets more and more complex. There's no point of speaking about 9 if we're still trying to get through 4 and 5. If we're still trying to, get on fourth dimensional thinking and fifth dimensional thinking. There's no point even talking about 9 because that's just too far-fetched. We're just taking it a step at a time. So in time we'll speak about more dimensions. But as of now, we have to build up to that. It's like a letter. We got to build up. You always thought you was seeing negative entities. Nah. That's how it can appear. It can appear because we're ignorant. We're ignorant to all this psychic phenomena. So we start seeing stuff and we thinking we're seeing something negative. Then now we start thinking this stuff. Then we start to produce the experience. So we definitely want to stay away from that. So just because we may not understand something or something appears to be a certain way based on what we have heard from other people. So, so long as I fasted was 2 weeks. 2 weeks, no solid food. Yeah, 2 weeks. So, yeah, intermittent fasting is good too. Intermittent fasting is good too. That's good too. If you want to, make it more so of a lifestyle. It all depends on how much pressure. Like, for example, if you fast, cool. But then if you dry fast, that's like a supercharged fast. So you got the regular fasting, which is no solid foods, and you got dry fasting, right, which is a supercharged fast. So it has even greater effects quicker. So it all depends on how quick you want results. See, everybody's talking about manifestation. Everybody want results. Everybody want their money right now. Everybody want the energy now. So if you're really serious, if you want to change your life on some overnight stuff, if you really want to go that hard, then you have to dry fast. Do a 72-hour dry fast, no food or water for 3 days. If you really trying to generate enough energy to truly realize yourself, like, yo, I got all this energy, I can do this. If you're really trying to do some real serious work, then stop eating and drinking for 3 days, 72 hours, and see how clear your vision is on a psychic level and physical level, just for 3 days. So we ain't talking about 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months. We're just talking about 72 hours, 72 hours dry fast, and just see if you can, just 3 days, and just see how much things open up for you. Yeah, exactly. Your body goes through that intermittent period. Yeah, but after a couple of days, you was like, yo, why was I even tripping about food? Because it was an addiction. It was an addiction. It had nothing to do with hunger. You experience hunger because you form hunger. Hunger just becomes a habit. So you start to really see what's going on. Like, yo, when I was feeling those hunger pains, that wasn't hunger. That was just my organs shrinking. My organs shrink. And that's what we experience as hunger. So hunger is just not your organs, but your stomach is shrinking. Your stomach becomes smaller. So that's all that is. But we think in our mind, I need to put more food in my stomach and expand it. Again, we just don't really know about the body like that. So we tend to have everything backwards. So we just got to place everything in its proper order. Any tips for getting back on a high vibration quickly when you're down? Again, beyond fasting, mantras. You can, again, fasting, mantras, exercise, inversion. Just sit down and meditate and deep breathe for 20 minutes. Just simple, quick stuff. You know what I mean? Just simple, quick stuff. Concentration. Just simple, quick stuff. Nothing too complex. This can also be done in an unbeneficial way, like people with eating disorders. It's all mental. It's all mental. So you're absolutely right. Depending on how you think is going to determine your results. So for example, somebody who didn't eat for a whole day, but they're not looking at themselves as fasting, they're looking at themselves as starving. So it all depends on the mind. So if you like, yo, I'm starving, I haven't eaten a whole day, they going crazy. Versus the person who understands, so yeah, I haven't eaten in 24 hours, but I'm fasting. The same thing is going on internally, but they're perceiving it, they're perceiving it as completely different phenomena when it's the same thing. But so your thought will determine. So if you start panicking and start freaking yourself out, then you will experience that. But if you keep yourself leveled out and calm, then you will have a different experience. Definitely, yeah. Water fast, weed fast, yeah, for all my smokers, you know what I mean? Maybe you don't want to smoke for the next couple of days. You know what I mean? Like put that down fast and see if you see a difference or have a difference. Yeah, take a 72-hour weed fast. You know what I mean? Or even longer. It all depends on how hard you're trying to go. Yeah, definitely. You can record your own voice, listen to it in the headphones. You already know. Definitely fast into healing crisis because you're going to have detox symptoms. Absolutely. Absolutely. What would be the benefit of being able to see 0 point energy or atoms in the air? It could look like static, especially at night. It's more so you just understanding who you are and your relationship to the natural phenomenon around you than you actually being, oh wow, look how great the atom is, or look how great nature is, and look how beautiful the earth is. It's not really that. It's just you look at these things and you observe, well, what position do I play in this vastness? What position do I play? How much influence do I have? What are my abilities? So you're learning yourself through observing nature and doing all these things. So you are seeking to understand yourself and your relationship to it, your relationship to the atom, and how much influence you have over the atom, and what you can do with the atom, and how you can manipulate the atom based on your thoughts. So that's more so what you're trying to do than just observing the beauty of the atom itself. All right. Is that when you look at the blue side? Yeah, you know, some people can see it. When you look up in the sky, you can see all these electric things moving around. I started to see it like when I started sun gaze. I started to notice that so yeah, for my sun gazers out there, you can see the static, you know, when you look up in the sky. Definitely, you know, so definitely that's definitely the play of elements. So it's for you to see that. So what does that mean for you? That's the question you should be asking yourself. What does that mean for you? Do you have an influence over that? What is that trying to show you? Like, what is your relationship with that? What is your relationship to that versus what is that? Yeah, this is so badass. You know, ancient philosophy was a good moral for what's happening now. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, this is, you know, ancient future. As it was in the beginning, so it shall be in the end. All right. So yeah, we are modern day ancient minds. Absolutely. 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 You saw an orange star going in the sky. Yeah, I was seeing like red and blue lightning yesterday. It's definitely some type of activity. I'm just seeing like red lightning bolts and blue lightning bolts. So definitely, yeah, because of the lunar eclipse, there's definitely some stuff going on in the sky. So I encourage everybody, keep your eyes to the sky. Keep your eyes to the sky, you know. Did I talk about the energy of the eclipse yet? Did I talk about the energy? I didn't even talk about it yet. You know, I've been answering these questions. So yeah, we should actually talk about the actual eclipse, right? We should probably do that. So let me make sure I'm caught up. We can actually talk about it. All right. Just answering these questions. So yeah, I'll answer a couple more questions. We'll get to it. If we offer blood, is there any consequence in our afterlife? It all depends. Your blood or the blood from another being? If it's your blood, like your menstrual blood or something, I don't think that generates karma. But if you went and killed something to get that blood, then, you know, maybe, you know, that'll have some type of after effect. But if it's your blood, then it is what it is. You know, if that's what you want to do. What's up, Dragon OG? What's the deal? Definitely fasting definitely takes you on quantum leaps. So all my quantum leapers out there, definitely fasting will have you on a quantum leap. You know what I mean? And definitely you can combine that with urine therapy. So let me mention that as well for all the people that are not disgusted by that. Because at this point, you're not going to have any chemicals in your body. So there's not going to be nothing polluting your urine. So you'll be able to practice urine therapy, which for the people, you know, who you know, are low on energy when they fast, you start drinking urine therapy, it'll bring your energy back. It'll keep your energy levels up, you know, doing a fast if you're doing a water fast, right? And but that has spiritual benefits. So you have a water fast, but water may not have spiritual benefits unless you drink a lot of it. Versus the urine therapy actually has spiritual benefits. Like one of my most vivid dreams happened when I was practicing urine therapy during a fast. So, you know, I'm just throwing out some things for y'all to practice, y'all to do some experimentation with, you know, things that have worked for me. You know, I've had results with things that work. All right. Yeah, fasting is definitely, when you fast during a full moon and the energy is already geared towards cleansing, then it just jump starts. It gives you like extra energy to do so. Definitely. So that's why it should be in alignment with the cycles, because certain energies are boosted, then some energies are hindered. The energy that's boosted is cleansing. So whatever you dedicate your mind to that has something to do with detox or cleansing, it's going to be an extra boost with you. You know, so is it necessary for us to work out when fasting? Like, aren't you supposed to work your way into exercises? Well, just start off with yoga. I would say practice yoga. So I'm not saying go hit the gym, you know, or go jog for miles and miles and miles. Just practice some basic yoga positions. Do you know, yeah, just subtle stuff. You know, be supple. Just do yoga positions. You ain't gotta do nothing crazy. Cause right, you are fasting, so you have to conserve your energy. You know, or utilize urine therapy. You know, or mix and match. Create your own system. I'm just throwing out. You know, I'm just throwing out things, but you can do these things and however you like to do them, whatever works for you. Oh, by weed fast, you mean by only having weed? Oh, so okay, you talking about a fast where you're only smoking? Well, smoking dehydrates you, so you may run into some issues. Cause smoking dehydrates you, then it stimulates your appetite. So, you know, it's gonna make you want to eat and drink, basically. You know, if you smoke, it's gonna make you want to eat and drink. But then again, I encourage you to try for yourself. Maybe it won't, if you have your mind concentrated enough on your fast. So if you can apply your discipline and not subject yourself to the eating and drinking, then. But you know, smoking does dehydrate you. So you definitely want to, if you are smoking, you have to drink more water, unless you want to be dehydrated. You know, but definitely I encourage you to do your own experiments and see for yourself. Listen to your body. Will fasting affect the way we hear music and see nature? Fasting changes everything. Fasting changes everything. I'm just going to leave it there. Fasting gives you a whole nother perspective of life. Fasting has you seeing things different. All the problems that seem big become small and they just dissolve. It's crazy. It puts you in a whole different reality. It's a whole different reality. So that's not even the beginning of what fasting does for you. It's too long a list to list the benefits of fasting. So, all right, so let's actually talk about this lunar eclipse before we get up out of here. So I wrote down a couple things. So again, I already explained what a lunar eclipse is. It's just basically the light of the sun cannot be reflected by the moon because the light is being blocked by the earth. So the earth is blocking the light from being reflected by the moon. Even though it's going to be a full moon, it's going to be reddish because the light is being blocked. So that's why it's called a lunar eclipse, you know, for those who don't understand what a lunar eclipse is. Also, this ties into Sirius. I made a video last year around this time called Portal Manifestation and Dimension something like that. I'll leave the link to the video I made last year around this time talking about Sirius. I'll leave a link to the description after I finish the live stream. So come back maybe 10, 15 minutes later, I'll leave a link in the description to my video I did this year about Sirius around this time last year. So around July 23rd, you can start to see the star Sirius. For those who don't know about the star Sirius, it's the brightest star, you know, from where we are in the universe. It's the brightest star in our universe or our galaxy, all right? Also, you know, the Egyptians were very well connected to Sirius. Sirius also resonates with the god Nomo. So for all my people out there who work with deities, it's a deity called Nomo, Nomo. It's a fish god. So now we're dealing with the water elementals. So this is also a good time to work with the spirits of water in terms of the elementals. Talk with the mermaids. You know, make offerings to the oceans or the seas and the lakes. Work with the water elementals again. Sleep with water above your head or below your bed. You know, cleanse your home. If you want to cleanse your home of negative energy, just put cups of water in the corners of your home, or the corners, and put salt in the water. The salt absorbs all the negative energy. So put salt and water in the corners, and it absorbs all the negative energy. So these are just examples of the things you can do during a full moon / lunar eclipse. So again, you know, the Dogon people are connected with Sirius. So for those who want to understand, there's also a book called The Sirius Mystery. You can read a book called The Sirius Mystery if you want to go into the deeper mysteries behind Sirius. So there's a connection with the star Sirius, as well as the lunar eclipse with the red blood moon / full moon. So this definitely is a astrological alignment. So there's definitely a very unique energy, a very unique consciousness present right now, because all these things are lining up. So the more we separate ourselves from these physical happenings, we're just observing the effects. We're just caught up in the chaos. So we are observing the effects. But if we want to observe the causes, the celestial causes, then that's why we start to detox, so we can have more observation over the celestial causes of things versus the effects or the after effects of things, right? So, of course, we also see that it fuses with the number 13. The number 13 and the moon has a connection. Obviously, the moon moves 13 degrees every day. You have 13 moons every year, right? So definitely also watch my video called The Occult Secret of the Number 13 if you haven't seen that video already. So the number 13 has a connection with this full moon / lunar eclipse as well. So if you want to work with a particular energy, work with the energy of 13, which is the 13th sign of Ophiuchus, which is the serpent bearer. So now you're bringing that into with serpent spirits or snake spirits, and that's all about the Kundalini rising, being able to rise the Kundalini through all of the chakras and what sparks all this happening is your tantra, or your sexual energy that's pent up and coiled up around the spine. So, you know, that's you know, we ain't got to get too deep into that because we talk about that all the time, right? So let's see. I think we spoke about everything. Definitely work with the water spirits. So this is also a good time to enhance your spiritual sight or your astral sight. So again, for all my dreamers out there, for all my astral travelers, this is definitely a good time, because every full moon enhances spiritual energy or the element of water because of the magnetic pull the moon has over the tides. So the water is a lot more, the energy is a lot more freed. You know, it's a lot of energy going on a subconscious level or a subtle level right now. So definitely do something to fuse with the element of water, whether it's working with the water element, increase your water intake, working with water elementals, again, leaving the water out around your homes, just something with water. Do some type of water rituals. Create a water ritual with this full moon, right? And lastly, just talking about the nature of water, spooky action at a distance. So the thing with water has intelligence. We were speaking about this yesterday. Because water has intelligence, that means it can be a water drop over here on this side of the universe, and it can be another water drop on the opposite side of the universe. But since they have a prior connection, this water drop can still influence this water drop, even though they are on the other sides of the universe. They are like contrasts, but they are still connected because they have a previous connection. Because they have a previous connection, they can still influence each other, although they are vast distances apart. Spooky action at a distance. So this is going into the science of water. Water can also be programmed. So you can put a mantra over a glass, like a glass of water. You can put a mantra under it, and it can be charged with that mantra. You can put crystals in your water, and it be charged with the energy of the water. So this is going again back into the art of enchantment, being able to program the water. Water is the easiest thing to be programmed because the atoms can be changed. You know what I mean? So definitely get into programming your water with different, herbs and different crystals and, different elixirs, creating different types of elixirs, based on the water element. So just get more in tune with the water element as a whole. So, nothing too crazy. It's just all about getting into your ritual mentality. Get into a cleansing perspective and just making it do what it do, making it happen. So will it affect our mental or physical energy? Absolutely. But that's every full moon. But this definitely is a unique energy. So I would say, tap into it, but it will have a lessened effect if you are in alignment with it by making sure that your psychic channels are open to the best of your ability. So it will have, again, like some people on full moons get very, very emotional. People tend to have a lot more arguments around this time. It's a lot more accidents around this time. It's a lot more everything that has something to do with the emotions are heightened at this time, but that's every full moon, especially the blood moon. You know what I mean? So it's definitely you'll be able to observe it in people, people getting mad and upset and emotional, just instantly, like a lot quicker than usual. So, but as long as you are not being pulled by the chaos around you, then you should be good. All right. So, that's today's lesson. Hopefully everybody will benefit it. So definitely, if this helps you, thumbs up the video. Again, I appreciate the super chat donations. Check out the links in the description. I'm gonna leave the link to the video I was talking about in the description below in about 15 minutes. So definitely, I'll be right back at y'all tomorrow. Yeah, we still in Vegas. Yeah, Vegas is triple digits every day. So yeah, you see what I mean? Like, all right, just sitting outside, you sweat. Just sitting outside, you ain't even got to be doing nothing. So yeah, we out west. We out in the desert. This is just that desert weather. Definitely. Exactly. So again, salute to everybody. I'll get back to y'all tomorrow. Peace.